Back to TransGuyReacts. My name is Nick. I make videos about women's basketball, collegiate or professional. And today I'm talking about the WNBA games for the playoffs today. But I'm just going to talk about one. I'll talk about the second game later today. So the first game was against the Las Vegas Aces against the New York Liberty. It's a semifinal game. It's the first of the best of five. This was on ABC. For me, it was at 1 p.m. So in the afternoon game, unfortunately, we had Rebecca Lobo, Ryan Ruocco, and Holly Rowe on the call. I've talked about them before. I do not like them calling games. I think they're highly annoying. Tired of them. Ryan's kind of okay, but Rebecca is incredibly biased and says really unfactual things, and Holly Rowe is kind of inappropriate and says things that I don't agree with. Really in like rude questioning sometimes, and it's just like puppy dog behavior. Like she follows players around the court. It's weird. I don't like it. Megan Rapinoe, on the other hand, was there. Sue Bird was there. Spike Lee was there. A whole bunch of other celebrities were there that I don't even care about. But a lot of celebrities at the game, so that's fantastic. In the first quarter, the New York Liberty were playing super strong, super hard, super fast. The Aces were able to keep up with it, but the Liberty came out like punched people in the face, and it was close until the last 3 minutes, and Liberty started to make a small little lead. Brianna Stewart was playing exceptionally well in that first quarter. It ended 21-28. In the second quarter, what I noticed was there was no rebounding happening for the Aces. They were just not rebounding the ball at all. Tiffany Hayes and Jonquel Jones were kind of going at it at one point. Jones does pick up a foul, but I just see a lot of like pushing and blocking out between them, and I was like, ooh, this is gonna get a little nasty maybe. It did settle down after a while, but they were a little chippy at first. Aces were able to cut into the lead with two points with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. But the Liberty and Brianna Stewart were like leading that team. Brianna Stewart had 20 points to increase their lead at the end of the second quarter. 20 points already. And then they were like shutting down Asia. Asia got like maybe 10 points in that first half. She was just not able to get to her spots. And it was 38-48 at the half. During the halftime show, we had Elle Duncan, Andrea Carter, and Chinedi Owumike calling the halftime report, and that was fantastic. I love them because they actually have real world experience, especially Chinedi Owumike because she used to play for the Connecticut Sun, and Andrea Carter played for Tennessee, so she has that college experience, and they actually understand the context of the game and do really great breakdowns. And I always like to see a black women calling the games. In the third quarter, we had the Liberty giving it to the Aces. They really were. They had a super big lead at one point, but the Aces were able to cut it down to 6 points, and it was just going back and forth, back and forth. At one point, Spike Lee was heckling Kelsey Plum, which I think is ridiculous, but Plum was playing really good in that third quarter despite all the heckling. Alicia Clark unfortunately picks up her fourth foul and has to sit with 4 minutes left in the third, so that's kind of key. Kennedy Burke and Brianna Stewart go after a ball with Jackie Young at one point, and they call the foul on Brianna Stewart, but when you look at the replay, it looks like it's Kennedy Burke, so that's unfortunate. Brianna Stewart actually picks up her fourth foul. She has to sit with 33 seconds left in the third. So at the end of the third, it's 62-71, still the advantage to New York Liberty. We go into the fourth quarter. The refs are, I would describe the refs in this game as just okay. I do trust the two black refs. The white ref, not so much. I've seen him ref in the past. He has a propensity to call fouls against black players more often than not in a negative way. I think he's incredibly biased. So I have issues with him. The woman who was the ref, she is known for calling touch fouls. If you do a touch foul, she's gonna call it. She's a really good ref overall, but I just noticed that she typically does call a lot of touch fouls. So I would say there were a lot of questionable missed calls. There were questionable touch fouls, but overall the refing was okay. Oh, there was also a lot of traveling on both sides, on both teams, that weren't called. So the refing was just okay. It wasn't terrible, but it was just okay. But then in the fourth quarter, despite all that, Sabrina Ionescu was just going off. She was hitting those deep threes that she's known for since college. Liberty ended up extending that lead to 13 points. At one point in the game, though, in the fourth quarter, Ryan Ruocco could not help himself. He had to bring up Caitlin Clark when this game has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. It's very annoying that they always have to bring her up in situations that have nothing to do with her, and this is why people don't like her, or don't like the narrative that the WNBA keeps trying to spin with this rookie who hasn't won anything, got swept in the NCAA finals, and then gets swept in the WNBA finals. She is not that great, but they keep bringing her up. This game has nothing to do with her. I digest. I digress. Back to the game. Brianna Stewart does pick up 30 points in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left to go. They do point out, though, in the crowd that Tamika Catchings is in the building, which is great because she's one of the best defenders of all time in the WNBA, so it's great to see her at a game. Circling back, digressing back to the touch foul situation, Clark gets a call for a touch foul. It's going to be her fifth. Guess who called it? The woman ref, I forgot her name. She calls a touch foul. Becky Hammond does challenge that with 2 minutes left. It's 76-83. In the replay, you can see she clearly does not touch her. She does not touch. I think it was Sabrina Ionescu. There was no touching. And they do review it. The Aces do win that challenge, which is really key because that would have been Alicia Clark's fifth foul. But it doesn't really matter. There's 2 minutes left in the game. The Liberty are paying ridiculously well. Brianna Stewart hits this like buzzer beater. Jonquel Jones does this major block on Asia Wilson. They end up just bouncing the ball out with 23 seconds left in the game. 77-87 is the end score. Really great game. Love to see that Tamika Catchings actually goes up to Asia Wilson at the end of the game and gives her a big hug, which I love to see. And then you look at the box score for this game. Jackie Young had 17 points. Asia Wilson had 21 points. Kind of a quiet night for her. 21 points is quiet, whatever. 6 rebounds, 2 blocks. Kelsey Plum had a major night, 24 points. Really great night for her. And then Alicia Clark had 9 points. But that was pretty much it. They didn't get a lot of offense from anyone else on the team. As opposed to the New York Liberty, Brianna Stewart had 34 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block. Jonquel Jones had 13 points and 12 rebounds for a double-double, 1 steal, 1 block. Sabrina Ionescu had 21 points, 2 steals, 1 block. So just a little bit better offense. A really good defense, honestly. The Aces were not rebounding. So what are you going to do? But yeah, it was a really great game for the first game. I'm excited to see the next game. I'm glad this is a best of 5. We're going to get the best out of both of these teams. And yeah, excited for the next few games. I will be doing a separate video on the Connecticut Sun versus the Minnesota Lynx later on today. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.